What's going on, guys? Patrick here, bringing you a brand new video. Today we've got another killer video for you guys full of information. Today we're going to be looking at the $1,000 Bitcoin drop that happened in just 5 minutes. We're also going to be looking at the potential for Bitcoin reaching $300,000, as well as some massive news that came out from the Ripple company. So make sure you guys stay all the way until the end, because we're going to be covering a ton of information. But before we get started with that, if you guys are interested in making money with cryptocurrencies, make sure you check out the first link in the description or the first link in the comments for the cryptocurrency trade alert group. I post every single one of the trades that myself and my team enters in this group, so that if you're a complete beginner, if you don't have time to do technical analysis, or you don't know how to do technical analysis, you can copy our exact trade. It takes 2 to 3 minutes to set up, and after that, profits are taken automatically for you. So it becomes very, very passive. We have altcoin trades, we have leverage trades, and we have the #1 community in the cryptocurrency space, full of people ready and able to answer any question that you might have 24/7. As always, we have a free trial going on for 14 days, so 2 weeks. We have a 14-day free trial where you can basically try everything that's involved, see what's inside, see how you like it. If for some crazy reason it doesn't work for you, or you just simply don't like it, you can cancel and you will avoid getting charged. It's as easy as that. We're breaking down all the barriers. A ton of you guys have been in there and have enjoyed everything that we have to offer, and I can't wait to see a bunch more of you in there. But let's get started with some technical analysis, because guys, let me tell you, first off, I tried to record this video earlier this morning, but the file got completely messed up. So I wasn't able to upload it a little bit earlier like I wanted to. However, we do have big things going on, and they're still relevant right now, so I want to cover it. We're recording this for a second time. Let's make sure let's hope that this one works. If you're seeing it, that means it did work out. But take a look at this huge candle on the 1-hour chart. For starters, we actually, unfortunately, were not able to capitalize on this trade in the group. We did, however, enter a long position in here, and we were able to secure profits and hit targets during this move. A very straightforward, going up to retest the support, the resistance that's now up here of the EMA ribbon. Very straightforward. But this huge candle, this huge $1,000 drop happened in a matter of like 5 minutes, like 3 to 5 minutes. This just, everything blew up. Bitcoin just exploded down, and what we see is the formation of a pattern that, if you've been in the space for some time, you've grown to love, and that's the Bart Simpson. This pattern is named Bart Simpson for those of you who are new, because it's shaped like the top of Bart Simpson's head. It has one huge candle up, it then trades sideways with a little bit of spiky, right? And then it has one huge candle down. Very, very straightforward. This one is a 5-minute candle. Like I said, a 5-minute candle that dropped $1,000. Not usually that size of the bar, but this is again indicating that there's probably something going on. Now, a lot of people said that this was probably manipulation, and guess what? I can say with 99% confidence, almost full confidence, that yes, this was indeed manipulation. Was it somebody trying to bring the price down, scare people, or was it somebody just selling on the market that they have a lot of Bitcoin? Either way, we don't know 100%, but I can almost guarantee you that this was indeed manipulation. It does happen in the market, and the good thing is that if you learn kind of how the psychology works, you can put your technical analysis along with the psychology that you learn and capitalize on some tremendous opportunities. Like I said, unfortunately, we were not able to capitalize on this, but if you were, because you understood kind of the thought process, you understand the Bart pattern that happens, you're looking out for the right things, this was a huge move. And if anybody was in a position, let me know down below if you guys were in a short during this, because that was absolutely insane. But on the 1 hour, looking at what we could expect to happen in the future, you'll notice the 1 hour, naturally, with just a huge candle like this, it happens every time. We broke below the EMA ribbon. We had the flip, so the 1 hour time frame, we are now looking at a bearish trend. That's a 1 hour time frame, so a short time frame, we're looking at a bearish trend. And right now, instantly, like I said, we got in for a long here. We were able to retest the resistance that's up here. That was once the support, that's the EMA ribbon. Now it's a resistance because we're in a bearish trend. It rejected off that. Very straightforward. And now we're sort of waiting to see what exactly Bitcoin does from here. With a big drop like this, with a lot of volume coming in, we can expect a little bit more volatility. And since we are, like I said, below the EMA ribbon on the hourly time frame, we can expect some bearish action. We can expect, until we break above, some bearish action on the 1 hour time frame. Now, everybody thought this was, a crazy thing. This is the most bearish thing in the market. A lot of people were panicking. What exactly can we do? What's going on? What's going wrong? And now I want to zoom out to the 4 hour, because if you look at the 4 hour chart, you start to realize that this huge sell-off that happened, this huge candle that came in, although unfortunate and just crazy, right? It only really broke below the EMA ribbon on the 1 hour time frame. On the 4 hour time frame, we had the huge wick below the EMA ribbon, but the close was pretty much right at the support, and since then it's bounced up from there. Now it's looking like, again, it might want to come down for a retest to see if it does commit to breaking below. But until we see that break below on the 4 hour chart, then on that time frame, Bitcoin is still it's still in a bullish trend, right? Not to say it's going to go up guaranteed, but until we break below and until we have that flip like we saw here, which is a bearish flip, right? The flip of the EMA ribbon into becoming a bearish trend, a confirmation of that bearish trend, then there's not really anything that we can say that's necessarily bearish as of right now. We saw the last time it did flip was May 21st, 2020. So around like 2 weeks ago. Then around a week ago, it flipped again, or just under a week ago on May 28th, it flipped again when it broke above to bullish. Now, let's see what happens. Let's see if we're going to enter a bearish trend, which we very much could do. And if we do, then it would not be surprising at all if we come back down and retest this support right here, or test the support right here, which we've done several times before. And you'll guys see that a little bit better on the daily time frame. But remember, 4 hour time frame, we're still, as of right now, in a bullish trend. And same thing is happening on the daily time frame. Take a look at the daily time frame. What do you guys see? Way above the EMA ribbon over here. The wick actually just went down to the support of the bottom of the EMA ribbon, but other than that, it's still well above the EMA ribbon. So would not surprise me at all if we want to come down to retest this support here, right? This support at this line, which we were in this pattern before. This support there would line up perfectly with the bottom of the EMA ribbon, roughly at around the high $8,000 mark, with the possibility of obviously a few wicks going even into the mid 8,000 to low 8,000. You guys will see in just a second also why that might be possible. But within this pattern that we've been trading in before, we had one attempt at a breakout, one big candle up. It came up right to this level, which is a crucial resistance that we've seen happen back here. It happened back here. And it happened. You can see all the different, all the price action that happened over there. That's roughly around 10,200 to 10,600. Some people might draw a little bit differently, but it is guaranteed there's a range of resistance at that level, and it rejected right off, and it's back just where it left off inside this pattern. Now the weekly time frame is where things get a little bit interesting as well, because you remember we talked about how we had a flip into the bullish time frame of the bullish trend on the EMA ribbon on the weekly. This is one that happened a while ago, and this doesn't happen often whatsoever. This is a rare occurrence, and usually when it happens, it's followed by bullish price action. That's one thing we're looking at, because we saw a very similar flip come in again right after we had a few weeks of a bearish. We saw another bullish flip come in, and from that, what a lot of people are expecting, if history were to repeat itself, is that we could see some positive price action. Now this is currently at the 8,000, low 8,000 to mid $8,000 mark, and remember how I said wouldn't even be surprising at all if we saw wicks come down to that level. Well, now you guys can understand more of why, right? So the first point we want to look at is the high 8,000s for that support. Then we're looking at the support at around that 8,400, 8,000, all the way down to like 8,100, 8,400 to 8,100, the levels where we would not be surprised, because that's where the weekly EMA ribbon is at. But a break above this level, just to give you guys an idea of the levels I'm looking at, break above this would be a clear opportunity for us to move into that $14,000 range. Next up is like that $17,000 range, and then we're looking at getting that to that all-time high of 20,000 that a lot of people have been waiting for. Bearish wise, again, I indicated this level first, then this level, and if we do for some reason break below those two, then the $7,500 level is possible, which is somewhere right around here. But until I see a little more confirmation of a bearish trend, I don't see that being the scenario. I don't see $7,500 being the scenario that we are going to be hitting just yet. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think exactly is going to happen? Before we dive into all the big news that have been coming out, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Now let's take a look at the overall market. What's going on? Bitcoin is up 0.98% in the last 24 hours. That's because the huge dump that came in happened just over 24 hours ago. So if we had looked at this, let's say of couple, maybe even 5 hours ago, we would have seen a huge drop of like 5%, right? The first time I tried recording this video, Bitcoin in the last 24 hours was down around 5 to 6%. Bitcoin recovery a little bit, altcoins doing the same. I've seen a lot of altcoins perform very well recently, which does, again, excite me into thinking of the potential of an altcoin season starting to come in at some time. You guys remember what happened in the last bull run if you were around? Bitcoin soars first, altcoins tend to follow. Altcoins can have a lot more volatility because of the lower amount of volume that they have. So you can see those altcoins move, 20% in a day, 30, 50% in a day, while Bitcoin will usually be at that 5, 10. During the bull run, maybe even a 20% day would be there. But you'll see altcoins move a lot more, both to the upside and the downside. So that's usually how we see it happen. Bitcoin goes first, altcoins fall, then Bitcoin starts to come down, right? It peaks and starts to come down. Then altcoins after will peak and start to come down as well. But huge news out of Ripple. This is massive. You guys know I believe out of the altcoins, I believe XRP is going to do very well. If I had to pick my favorite altcoin, this would definitely be one that's in the contention, along with the likes of Engine and stuff like that. But Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse, they met with central banks in Brazil, right? So Brazil's central bank, they held a closed meeting to discuss institutional matters. Now, Brazil, obviously the country I'm from, has been doing relatively well in terms of crypto adoption. Now, if that's because they kind of are forced to because of everything going on, or if it's something that they're just very open-minded about and are interested in learning, either way, they're discussing a lot. They've been doing very well in terms of crypto adoption. Now they're discussing institutional matters with Ripple, which could mean, of course, if that's going to use the XRP token, that's going to be something that company, XRP is going to be used, and the company is going to continue to form partnerships in high places with institutional investors, with just institutional matters. This could be very big news for XRP, not just for the crypto space in general, but for XRP specifically as well. This could be very good. And again, the space in general would obviously benefit tremendously from that happening. And last but not least, this is from Adam Back, somebody who I've realized that this is something he said that I realized not a lot of people kind of talk about. And this is because, when Bitcoin was worth a few dollars, looking at a $1,000 Bitcoin was crazy, right? The thought of that was crazy. Then a $10,000 Bitcoin, even crazier. A $20,000 all-time high, people would have thought you were crazy. And now that we've actually done it, people are talking about that potential of a $100,000 Bitcoin, $1 million Bitcoin, $10 million Bitcoin, and 10 million might seem crazy, 1 million might seem crazy, 100,000 might seem crazy. But remember, every previous attempt has also seemed a little bit crazy. Now, I'm not one for crazy predictions as to this is the exact number. I think Bitcoin is going to go to 752,522. That's not the way I like to roll. I just kind of like to play with the information we're given. Then if it does hit that, and I believe it will obviously continue to go up, I'm bullish on it, then I will be happy. But what he said, this was the response to this. Now, that's not the important part to me. I want to focus on what he said at the end. What he said is that it's closer than it sounds as along the path, didn't mean to open that. As along the path of hyper-Bitcoinization, the USD inflation rises, e.g. aided by modern monetary theory rationale for higher inflation. So $1, that you had $1, now that becomes 10 cents over a decade or over a decade or two of monetary craziness. The buying power that you have decreases, right? Then $10 million in Bitcoin in the future is only really $1 million in Bitcoin today, or $1 million per Bitcoin today. Right, so I don't know if I explained that well, but for those of you who understood, just kind of your buying power, because of inflation, your buying power decreases. So the amount that Bitcoin could be worth, you could be thinking of Bitcoin being worth $10,000 right now, but that might be the equivalent of a $100,000 Bitcoin in terms of buying power in the future, without even factoring in the supply and demand and everything that comes into that. So if you're thinking about that, if you believe that, we're going to have even more inflation come in and things are going to start, the monetary craziness, like he called it, this could be something to consider as well. But just a little bit of information, just the thought, he thinks Bitcoin in the next 5 years could reach that $300,000 price per Bitcoin. That would be very interesting. I'm sure, like I said, a lot of you guys, myself included, would definitely be open to that, and we wouldn't mind at all. But guys, before we cut off the video, make sure you do leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on everything going on and what do you think of Bitcoin. Do you think it's going up, or do you think it's gonna come down? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you leave a thumbs up on the video as always, and I'll see you guys on Friday for another video.